It moves away from the sun under the influence of some mysterious force. There are no vapors, no dust, no gas around it, and the question arises, what is pushing it? This giant 7-mile wide entity from interstellar space named Tri-Eye Atlas is heading towards us and conceals a secret. NASA confirmed that it is filled with pure water ice and organic molecules, the building blocks of life. However, when they collaborated with Google's artificial intelligence to analyze its strange, twisting trajectory through our solar system, the computer revealed something frightening. The first object reported by astronomers as coming from beyond the solar system looked truly strange. It was discovered by a telescope in Hawaii. The path of this object is aligned with Earth's orbit in such a way that the probability of its natural occurrence is only 0.2%. It seems to deliberately evade our telescopes at the moment of its closest approach to the sun, a trajectory that contradicts randomness. It's amusing to think that for decades we looked into space, listening for signals, whispers from the distant beyond, but we always searched for sound, radio waves. We never expected the message to come in the form of a 7-mile chunk of rock and ice, moving with a purpose that seems illogical. This is the story of Tri-Eye Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object to visit our solar system, and it becomes stranger with each new batch of data. Discovered by the Versace-Rubin Observatory, Tri-Eye Atlas immediately captured attention. Its size is astonishing. For comparison, the famous interstellar visitor Oumuamua was about 0.2 miles long. The second, Borisov, was approximately 0.6 miles wide. The three-eyed Atlas reaches a full 7 miles in width, making it an absolute giant that overshadows everything before it, racing towards our sun at nearly 130,000 miles per hour. This speed is so great that the gravity of our sun cannot capture it. This visitor simply passes by, like a tourist on a space journey. Using NASA's Infrared Telescope Observatory, scientists have gained a good understanding of its composition for the first time. The images showed that it is rich in water ice, carbon-rich minerals, and silicates. This was not just any water. It was chemically pure. Scientists suggest that this ice could have frozen on an object up to 7 billion years ago, long before our planet even existed. This is literally a piece of a child's cradle from another solar system, a fossil from before time. However, it is not the object's composition that keeps scientists awake at night, but its trajectory. And this is where it gets really strange. The trajectory is unusual. It is perfectly aligned with Earth's orbit around the sun, which is a statistically unlikely event with a probability of less than 0.2%. But that's not all. When NASA scientists began plotting its course, they noticed it would pass incredibly close to several planets. On October the 3rd, 2025, it will fly just 18 million miles from Mars. On March 16th, 2026, the object will pass just 33 million miles above the clouds of Jupiter. The probability that all these coincidences would occur naturally is astronomically low. When the initial calculations seemed too strange to be true, NASA decided to use additional resources. They uploaded terabytes of data about the movement of the Atlas object into one of Google's most advanced artificial intelligence systems. The goal was to run millions of simulations to find a natural explanation for its unusual trajectory. The results that came back shocked everyone. Google's artificial intelligence confirmed that the odds are even worse than expected. The probability of an interstellar object having a trajectory that passes so close to the inner planets is less than 1 in 20,000. This is a path that looks like a controlled tour in space rather than random movement. Even more concerning is that the object is to reach its closest proximity to the sun on October 29, 2025, when Earth will be on the opposite side, hiding the object in sunlight and obstructing our best telescopes from getting a clear image. This coincidence seems disturbingly convenient. The artificial intelligence not only processed data, but also recorded an anomaly. Such an unlikely pattern that it practically screamed of an intelligent design. The question is no longer whether this path is strange, but why it is so. Could it be just a coincidence? Or have we found a needle in a haystack that was deliberately placed there? A warning from the Harvard professor. When something in space raises questions, one name invariably comes to mind. Ivilo, a professor of astrophysics from Harvard, once suggested that our first interstellar visitor, Oumuamua, could have been an alien spacecraft. Now, with the appearance of Object 3 and Atlas and the shocking analysis of its trajectory, he is back in touch, and his new theory is even darker. In an article co-written with colleagues titled Is Interstellar Object 3 and Atlas Alien Technology, Avilo presents a disturbing argument. He claims that the enormous 7-mile size of the object is not just a natural feature, but a possible disguise. Such a large body could easily hide complex tools, a technological core concealed beneath layers of stone and ice. It is the perfect Trojan horse. Avilo also mentions the dark forest hypothesis, a frightening concept in cosmology suggesting that advanced civilizations actively hide from each other out of fear. In the dark forest, every civilization is a silent hunter, and the first rule is to never reveal your location, for you may encounter a peaceful or predatory hunter. The appearance of your presence can become a death sentence. In this scenario, 3 and Atlas will not be a friendly greeting. It could be a camouflage probe, a silent scout sent to passively map our solar system, eavesdropping on us without revealing its true nature. Its behavior fully aligns with this profile. The unusual speed of the object and its nearly retrograde tilt, indicating it moves against the common flow in our solar system, are considered possible engineering solutions rather than cosmic coincidences. Why move against the current if you have no specific goal? And then follows this incredible planetary tour. According to Loeb, the fact that its trajectory comes so close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter is a serious warning sign. He emphasizes that the likelihood of this happening by chance is 1 in 20,000, while if it was planned, the probability is 100%. This is the most efficient way to gather data about multiple worlds in one go. It is also puzzling that its closest approach to the Sun will hide it from observations from Earth. This could be a deliberate maneuver, concealing the object and any smaller devices it might deploy towards Earth from our direct observation at a critical moment. The situation becomes even more alarming. Loeb calculated that at the given speed, 3 ice atlases would have first entered the outer limits of our solar system about 8,000 years ago. The fact is, this almost exactly coincides with the time when people on Earth first began to develop writing and formally record their history. It is unclear what this coincidence might mean, but the hint of it is felt very strongly. Was his arrival planned? Was he waiting for someone to be home and developed enough to leave a record? Although most experts quickly dismiss these ideas, pointing out that the object seems to have a coma and dust streams like a regular comet, Loeb's staff notes that key signatures, such as cyanogen gases or diatomic carbon, are still absent. The book is far from closed on what this really is. While most people see the comet, Loeb sees a potential threat hiding in plain sight. But to understand why he is so suspicious, one must go back to the first visitor who started it all. Dark comets are alien technologies. The detection of 3 ice atlases makes our first interstellar visitor, Oumuamua, seem even more extraterrestrial than before. The thing is, while the atlas follows some rules typical of comets, Oumuamua broke every one of them. On October 29, 2017, astronomers in Hawaii noticed a faint streak of light moving faster than any celestial object should. It was officially named Oumuamua, which means scout in Hawaiian. The researchers had only about 40 days to study it before it disappeared forever, and all they found was strange. First of all, its shape. Judging by how its brightness fluctuated every 7.5 hours, scientists concluded that it had an extreme form, at least 10 times longer than its width. Imagine something resembling a cigar, or perhaps a completely flat plate tumbling through space. No natural process creates such objects, but the greatest surprise is yet to come. As it flew past the Sun, Oumuamua accelerated. The object received a small but clearly measurable acceleration that was not caused by gravity. Usually, such momentum arises from gas ejection. When the comet approaches the Sun, its ice turns into gas and bursts out like a jet. But here's the problem. Every telescope observing Oumuamua recorded an absolutely clean trail. No dust, no gas, no coma, and no tail. He accelerated without visible means of propulsion. This is the essence of the mystery. The pressure of solar radiation was too weak to give him this push, unless the object was incredibly thin, like a sheet of paper with a huge surface area and very little mass. It looks more like a solar sail than a stone, a technological object. NASA even directed its Spitzer space telescope at this object, hoping to detect a thermal signal, but found nothing. Only silence. Actually, Spitzer's data only deepened the mystery, showing that the surface of Oumuamua was at least 10 times more reflective than that of a typical comet, which could indicate a metallic composition. This prompted Avi Loeb to develop the theory of a light sail. However, other scientists proposed a natural explanation, the dark comet theory. They suggested that Oumuamua could be made of solid hydrogen ice. As it approaches the sun, hydrogen would evaporate into invisible gas, creating thrust without visible dust or trace. This is an interesting theory, and since then we have found other objects in our solar system that seem to fit this profile. But Loeb remains a skeptic, claiming that the physics of a hydrogen iceberg just doesn't add up. And now Tri and I-Atlas are coming to us. It is large, icy, and seems to have a purpose. It behaves much more like a comet. And you know what? This is exactly what makes Oumuamua even stranger in light of new data. If interstellar visitors should look like Atlas or Boros, then what does Oumuamua represent? New data makes the scout less random and more like something else. It raises the question, is one of the objects natural and the other artificial? This opposition puts us at a crossroads. We receive two completely different pictures of what lies in the darkness between the stars. Are we missing something? Thus, we have two visitors from the abyss and two completely different stories. On one side, the 3A Atlas, a giant 7-mile wide, on a statistically impossible grand route through our solar system, whose path is so precise that a powerful artificial intelligence marked it as potentially artificial. On the other hand, the ghost of Oumuamua is a strangely shaped metallic object that accelerated for no apparent reason, behaving more like a technological artifact than a stone. One looks like a comet but acts like something else. The other did not resemble a comet and did not behave like one either. It makes you think, doesn't it? When such events occur, we are told to trust the simplest explanation, that the 3I Atlas is just an ordinary comet on a lucky path, and Oumuamua is a strange but natural dark comet. Perhaps that's true. But what if it's not? The point is that we are not talking about trifles. A trajectory that occurs once in 20,000 is not just a lucky chance. It is a cosmic hit. An object that accelerates without a visible engine is not just an anomaly. It is a violation of what we thought was known. Should we really believe that the first two interstellar objects we studied are both record-breaking anomalies of nature? Is it possible that we are missing a key aspect in this situation? Scientists are already planning missions, such as Project Lyra, an ambitious plan to launch a high-speed probe that can catch up with the next of these objects and study it up close. But that is still decades away. Right now, we only have data, and it tells a story that is hard to perceive. Is it just a series of cosmic coincidences, or are we refusing to see the pattern right in front of us? Share your thoughts in the comments.